President Trump demanding an end to the controversial visa lottery program that brought this terrorist to our country. Our next guest agrees. In fact, he introduced legislation prior to this attack in New York. Senator Tom Cotton served in Iraq and Afghanistan, joins us right now. Senator, now people are finally listening to this, to what you've been saying before, and that's to rid us of this act. What can we do? What can the president do now?
Hey, Brian, it's good to be on with you. You're right. This atrocity in New York has brought to most American people's attention what they probably didn't know is that we have something called the Diversity Immigrant Visa Program. There's not many dumber ways to give out citizenship in this country than to do it at a mere lottery on the basis of some kind of diversity. So my legislation would eliminate the diversity lottery, and it would focus on bringing in high-skilled immigrants that can contribute to our economy and stand on their own 2 feet, pay taxes, and not get welfare. We should move forward promptly with that legislation, especially given the fact that so many of the countries that benefit most from the diversity lottery, our own government says have problems with terrorism.
So I agree. And is that part of comprehensive immigration reform? And if so, can the president do anything at the executive level to act on that now?
Well, Brian, comprehensive immigration reform is often the Washington code for amnesty now and enforcement later, which means amnesty never. So what we should work on is trying to focus on the problems that we have, which is security and enforcement and getting a legal immigration system that works for the American worker.
Right. Let's talk about taxes. They're finally going to unveil the program Ways and Means today in the House. You guys are going to get a shot, and we're going to find out about what your tax reform looks like. In the meantime, you have an idea. The mandates included in Obamacare, put it in the GOP tax reform legislation. Expand on that.
Absolutely, Brian. So the mandate, which forces you to buy insurance no matter what your needs are or what your financial abilities are, is the most unpopular part of Obamacare. 2/3 of all Americans want to see it repealed. Also, budget estimates predict that it would save $300 to $400 billion over the next 10 years. That pays for a lot of tax cuts for working families and for our businesses so they can help create more jobs. Now, I know that this is something of a creative and unorthodox idea that wasn't on the agenda until we started raising it just last week, but $300 billion is a lot of money to pay for tax cuts for our working families and our businesses. Obviously, the president said yesterday on Twitter that he thinks it's a good idea as well, and we're getting momentum in both the House and the Senate as more and more of our colleagues realize that this is actually going to help pass a tax bill, not make a tax bill harder to pass, but make a tax bill easier to pass.
Except for you're a Democrat who wants to hold on to Obamacare, they'll fight you on that. But Senator, I guess
well, the Democrats want to tell you how to use your money. That's why they don't want to. That's why they don't support tax cuts, and that's why they want the Obamacare mandate in place.
Gotcha. Senator Tom Cotton, always great to hear from you. Thanks so much. We'll see what happens. Coming up straight ahead.